This was brought to my attention over the weekend, and I'm glad it was, because it just Telly raised a fist. I got to get one of them spinning chairs like you so I can do what you do and just say, fuck you, I was right, while spinning around in it. Because I keep being proven right, and I know the deranged leftists on Twitter hate that. They despise that because they like to think I'm just, he's what they call me, a hate monger, because apparently saying anything bad about current era means that you're doing it for views. As if, I don't know, if you type in any modern media in YouTube right now, doesn't matter what it is, our videos ain't going to be what's going to pop up, number one. And the most popular videos will be anybody that is neutral or co-signing anything good that's coming out. So we've certainly picked the worst way to do it if we wanted to do stuff simply for clicks and money, you crackhead mother. Anyway, but I'm always right. I don't talk out of my ass, and there's a reason why I talk about the similar topics or that exist within that same kind of realm, because I know what I'm talking about. I'm thorough, I'm well researched, and I'm not one of those guys that feels like he always has to be a part of the conversation. So I only talk about what it is that I know. And I pick up on a lot of stuff. And then you remember that, it wasn't that long ago maybe, that segment I did where I said the left, the authoritarian left, more specifically, the arrogant normies do not actually like material that's coming out of, especially Marvel. They don't like it. It's not exclusive. Some would argue Star Wars, Star Trek, so many other different brands are going through the same stuff. Let's speak to what I know, especially with Marvel DC. A lot of these people definitely like these MCU stands that you go back and forth with on Twitter. Those guys don't actually like that material, okay? They participate in it and stand for two reasons. One, fear of missing out. FOMO, they have to be a part of the conversation, and that's really what gets them off, okay? So that's probably the biggest part, arguably, of it, is that they don't actually enjoy it like that because they just want to be a part of the conversation. It's the end thing. That's just how the arrogant normie works. He latches on to whatever's in. But there's another side of this. Side that is so very important when it comes to not just, again, this industry or this subject matter, but understanding how these quacks operate. And that is, they enjoy it or fake enjoy it out of spite of their ideological enemies. What social statement can they tie to this? Is how they approach it. So the fact that there exist folks like ourselves, they will enjoy or fake enjoy something out of spite to guys like us. This is why they have those long drawn out little viral posts where they talking about social justice. It's always been in comment, all that type of stuff. They get off on this. Someone brought this to my attention. This is your typical blue check mark, young access media type guy, okay? Read between the lines, man, and you can read directly at what it is that he says, and we're going to read it for you, of course. When it comes to my thoughts on Miss Marvel, I initially watched the first 2 episodes at home. I enjoyed them, but didn't think they were great. Then I watched them at the premiere, and I enjoyed it a lot more because this isn't my words. This is what he said. Seeing the cultural impact it has on people being represented was something special. Then the day after I got the interview, the directors, and they had the best energy, access. Between seeing the show's cultural impact and chatting with its creators, yes, it gave me a deeper appreciation. People are going to see this as switching up when it really isn't. No, that's exactly what it is. You have told on yourself. You're just trying to rationalize with it. What you said was, basically, you weren't that into it. It wasn't that good. However, because of the access that you got and the cultural statements that it made, you now like it and actually love it now. So you're telling me the content in itself was not enough. And this is the point that we have been making. Y'all don't really like this shit. You don't. I'm glad my experiences have allowed me to find a deeper appreciation for the show. He doesn't really like it. And that can be said for a lot of these critics. Not just the critics, though. A lot of the people that feel like bots. But I think there's just a lot of stupid people out there that you go back and forth with on various forms of social media. They change their, like profile picture to be of a character that they read about on a Wikipedia article 5 minutes ago. Those types of guys. They don't actually like this stuff, bros. He explicitly stated he didn't think they were great, the episodes that he watched. But because of the social statements, cultural statements, and the access that he got, well, now he enjoys it a lot more. That's not how content works. Well, I get it. I'm an artist, so I can totally empathize with the fact that people can get a greater appreciation for your grind when they see the amount of work you put into it. That level of transparency, though you can't use Hollywood transparent and that's all smoke and mirrors. But for an independent creator, I can totally empathize with that and understand that you see someone and how they worked on it, and you can gain a deeper appreciation. But as far as the digestion of the actual content, that's either good or bad or mediocre or whatever it is. That's whatever it is, like that's you should be able to, you could separate that from that other stuff, and you can, if you're honest with yourself, say that is what it is. But if somehow access of all things and the social statement is what took it to the top, well, you didn't actually like this shit, or you didn't find out. Again, you can do both at the same time. But what should not happen is the way that you see that material and you digest it. It cannot go from being, let's say, in terms of merit, okay to great, just simply by way of access, or that doesn't make any sense, because those have no bearing on any of that, of what it is that you initially digest. That has nothing to do with it. You just now have more insight, and maybe it gives you a level of appreciation, but you have more insight. But that doesn't change the merit of what you actually got. They don't actually like that. He's just simply trying to rationalize with his thoughts, and that's how a lot of the industry is right now. It's smoke, it's mirrors, it's fake and it's hilarious because they use terms to call folks like myself shills, grifter. Oh my God, I'll be so glad when they retire that term that nobody seems to use rightfully. They like to apply that, though, to people that are on our side of the aisle, and it couldn't be any more suiting for the people that are on their side. Like I said, if I wanted to do, for example, this for the money, I'd do what Matt does. Matt Ramos, the guy that we just talked about, he is sponsored by Elgato. He has collabs between Disney, Marvel, and Warner Bros. Right? That's what I would do. I'd do what he did. He's getting all the interviews. He doesn't even, I'm looking at his channel right now. He doesn't even have a quarter, like barely a quarter maybe, of the subscribers that I have. And he's getting all the interviews. He's interviewed the directors of Miss Marvel. He's got reactions with millions of views. That's what the money, I would do that. That's what I would do. If I wanted to sell out, if I wanted to grift and be someone I wasn't, why would I do this? Why would I take the least lucrative lane, guys? It makes no fucking sense. The money's in what these guys do. If I wanted to access, right? I want the exclusive. You co-sign everything that Marvel does, and you're neutral at best on it. When you have to, it's a compliment sandwich basically you got to give them. You can't just say, all right, that's a pile of shit. You can't do that. But when you're not connected, you can. And I ain't connected to these weirdos. They don't actually like this stuff. I've told you, and they know I'm right on it. They don't like it. They don't like even the material that it came from. Why do you think they're so okay with changes? They don't even have a point of reference for that stuff. They don't care about it. It's just the end thing. And that's perhaps what sucks the most with comic books, is that at some point in time, this stuff ain't going to be cool anymore. And they're going to move to the next thing. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it's Westerns. But they'll move, the Normans will move to that. And the ashes that they burnt this motherfucking industry into the ground, we'll have to be the ones, because we'll still be around because we're actually into it. We'll have to be the ones to try to pick up the pieces. Because they going to move to something else at some point because they don't actually like this shit.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.